Well, parents, listen up. There's a new law in Michigan as of this afternoon that makes it illegal for certain teenage drivers to use cell phones while driving. Kelsey's Law is named for an Upper Peninsula teenager who was killed in a crash while on her cell phone. It applies to teens with a level 1 or level 2 license. Those are like driver's permits and have restrictions. Once they reach level 3, they're exempt. We wanted to know more about the law and how it could make the roads a safer place. And joining me right now for more on that, Dave Muma, owner of Century Driving School. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So what do you think about this new law? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it'll help?
I think it'll create awareness, and that's the biggest thing first and foremost. If you take a look from a historical perspective, drinking and driving wasn't necessarily looked at as a hard issue, okay? From
years ago.
Yeah, years ago. But now, texting while driving is kind of the new drinking while driving initiative and creating that awareness. And that's where this starts that discussion.
Do you think parents sort of blow this issue off?
No, I think though that teens see their parents and they're the example. So if the parents are texting while driving, then the teens don't necessarily see that it's necessarily a same impact from a danger perspective or increasing their risk. Whereas research has shown that the frontal part of the brain actually doesn't fully develop until the age of 25, and that actually is the part of the brain that produces or you're able to perceive what risk is. And so teens don't necessarily have the same level of risk. They're not asking the question to the same degree, okay, when is it appropriate to take this call or not take this call? Those questions they won't necessarily answer or think about because they don't even have the experience.
So kids don't necessarily gauge whether or not it's something as dangerous, even though it is.
Exactly.
So with something like this in place, do you think we'll see, even with the graduated license program, that we've seen, is it better?
It is. Research has shown that it's actually better. Crash rates have gone down. This whole program started in 96. 97 is really when the transition happened. And Michigan's been a model throughout that many other states have looked at. So overall, yes, this is a really good program. This is just one more facet. And really it's a multifaceted program when you're looking to reduce teen crashes and teen deaths and fatalities.
It's a matter of keeping them safe out there, that's for sure.
Exactly.
What about texting and calling? What do you think about that? Texting versus calling. It's another distraction.
It is. And it's not just, when we talk about distractions in the classroom, we're not talking about just texting. We're talking about cell phones, we're talking about eating, we're talking about conversations. All of that is a cognitive feature, and that puts a task on the brain. So the minute that you divide your attention off of the primary task of driving, now what's the next layer? And that's where the challenge comes in for the teens. They have to focus so much because they don't have the automaticity with their muscles to know exactly what the next item is or how to react. They haven't established that yet. So that's where, no, overall, this is a good measure because it starts to create that discussion for parents.
Sure. And of course in driving schools.
Exactly.
Dave Muma, thank you for joining us from Century Driving School. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.